What's up, weirdo? Shadetree Surgeon here in Flipna's mighty blue Honda Civic, traveling down the highway south in Florida to Naples. We're on a super cool mission today. It's going to be a very cool video series. Maybe. This might not work out at all. We don't know yet. But basically, I talked about this in a previous video where what I want to do is I want to get a motorcycle that costs less than $2,000. I want to ride that motorcycle across the country. Now, this is a very nebulous concept, and before that video even came out, one of my patrons found a crazy looking motorcycle for about $1,000 in Naples, and I couldn't say no. Like, I was like, hey, this is really not the time. I was not trying to do this right now, but this deal came up and we're going to look at it, and if it's decent, we're going to buy the cheapest Goldwing on Craigslist. I haven't seen anything but pictures of it yet, and if we bought it, you're probably seeing a little bit of it in the thumbnail, but let's go see what the cheapest Goldwing on Craigslist looks like. And the first thing we're trying to find out is if it'll make it back to Tampa, because I brought my bike. I didn't bring a trailer. I brought my motorcycle helmet with me, because the whole point of this is buying a super cheap bike that almost anybody could afford and take on a long trip. So if the bike can't make it 3 hours back to Tampa, I don't want to buy it. All right, see you guys in the gas station parking lot.
Bill,
What?
strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
Flip has got Deedles the attack dog in case things get hairy on this Craigslist deal.
Get him.
So we're sitting here in a racetrack in Naples right now, waiting for Florida's Craigslist cheapest running Goldwing to show up. And it's just starting to rain. So I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign or a sign at all. I think really all it is a sign that if I buy this bike, it's gonna be a dicey ride home. Well, that didn't work.
Well, needless to say, since I'm on my 1986 FXR good old barf party and not on a 1984 Goldwing nicknamed the Disco Duck, you might infer that Craigslist deal, things went slightly awry. And when I say it went slightly awry, by the time I left, the cops were getting called. I mean, really, honestly, it's so funny because, nothing this weird has happened to me before, but I've had some pretty weird Craigslist experiences, and this really just was the penultimate Craigslist experience. I mean, it had it all. So we agreed to meet the guy at the gas station, and after waiting there for a while, he calls me up and everything seems fine. He goes, hey, meet me down at the YMCA down the street a little bit. I say, okay, not a big deal. Maybe he's riding the bike up there. It was raining. Maybe he doesn't want to ride any further in the rain. We get to the YMCA. It's an empty parking lot, and we're sitting there waiting, and he calls me again, and he says, hey, do you see a black truck circling around the parking lot? I say, yes, I do. He goes, that's me. Just follow me. The alert level is up a couple notches at this point, but we're doing it. We're doing it for the vid. We follow him. So we follow him to his property, which is not too far from there. Oh, I thought it was his property. And we get there, and it's just like this collection of structures. None of them really look like people inhabit them, but people inhabit all the structure. It was a strange kind of compound that he took us to, and the Goldwing was there, definitely in a little bit rougher shape than I had expected. But hey, there were some old photos, and looking at it, I said, I'm not even going to give you the asking price for this, even though it's low. But anyway, and he says, well, I don't have the key. I go, well, that's kind of a problem. I need to hear it run. He goes, it's in that shed, but I don't have the keys in the shed. I don't have the key to the lock to the shed. Then he goes into this long-winded story about how his ex-old lady is dating the dude who actually owns the bike, and he's dating that guy's ex-wife, and he keeps them both in dope and pays their water bill. Yes, he said that. He keeps them in dope, keeps them doped up. And he can't believe that they're not here with the key because he's just got to sell this bike, and things are the threat level omega at this point. Things are getting weird. I said, okay, and he yells to his friend, get the angle grinder, we'll just cut the lock off. And I'm like, at this point, I'm really saying, this this is probably not going to happen. Finally, the lady shows up with the key. Meanwhile, he has had the angle grinder out and also picked up a random needle from the ground, shown it to me in disgust, and said, "Look at this. You believe this is how they repay me? They're just leaving needles all over the place." Meanwhile, there's shirtless children running everywhere, and I mean, he's not wrong. It was you shouldn't leave the needles on the ground when you have kids running around. So, so far, besides the whole like angle grinder thing, he's been in the right. Well, dang, I was just about to deliver all the t-shirts you guys ordered, but it looks like the post office is closed. Well, I'll get them out to y'all tomorrow. Where was I? Oh, yes. Craigslist, you beautiful disaster. So now he has a key to this concrete shed, and he opens it up, and they're busy rifling through it, yelling, and it's taking longer, and I'm really just about to dip out, and all of a sudden an old man walks up, and he looks at me. I'm standing next to the bike, and Flip's standing next to me, and he goes, "Who are you?" I go, "Hey, I'm Josh. You know, I'm buying the bike from the guy. Yeah, he's in the shed right now," and I won't say his name, but he goes, "Well, who the hell is that?" And I'm like, oh, okay, now this is getting really bad. And he stomps up to the shed and he goes, "Hey, this is private property. What are you doing in there?" And he starts screaming at the guy, and he comes out, he's going, "Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm a friend of so-and-so. He knows me. I'm selling the bike for him. He said I could sell it because he's blah, blah," and they're going back and forth and yelling at each other. And this guy is like, "I don't know who you are. You're stealing this bike." And he's going like, "No." And he comes back up to me and goes, "Hey, look, everything's on the level. The guy who owns this bike tried to kill himself, and he's in the hospital right now, and he has stage 4 cancer, and I'm just selling it for him." He goes back to the old man, and I'm going like, "Dude, it's time to get out of here." And the final straw ended up being when the old man just looks around and he goes, "What's going on here? This is theft. You guys are stealing this bike." And he goes, "I'm gonna have to get the deputies down here to sort this out." And you know, old Shadetree, once the cops start showing up, it is time to exit stage left. So needless to say, the old disco duck is not going to work out. It was kind of a bummer because even though it was in a little rougher shape, it was really just a crazy looking bike. It was just, it had this insane paint job, and it was so retro and dorky and 70s dad style. I really wanted it to work out. I think I could have made some really funny videos on it. Alas, it was just not meant to be. And that's all right. I didn't want to buy a stolen bike, obviously, even if the title wasn't his name. And like I said, feral, shirtless children running around everywhere, dope fiends yelling at each other, goddamn needles on the ground, and the cops getting called. You know, I have to draw the line somewhere, and while the scene was extremely entertaining, if a little stressful, I had to say no. So the search continues, and I don't know if you guys saw the last video, you might not know what I'm talking about. Basically, even though I'm on a very shitty bike, what I want to do is I want to buy a bike for around $2,000 or less, and I want to try to travel across the country on it, just to kind of show people that, hey, you can buy a bike for very inexpensively, and you can go on your dream motorcycle trip on it. Now, you could look at this bike. You guys who know the channel know that I'm basically outfitting the Krusty Glide to travel. This is a 1986 FXR that I bought for $2,000 that I'm kind of setting up with. I've got a fairing for it coming in. I've got hard bags on it, but your t-shirts that are not getting sent out are sitting in. I would use the FXR, and I do plan on doing touring on the FXR, but this is not like a typical example of a $2,000 bike. This was my friend's bike that I bought from him. Maybe it was worth. What are you doing, bud? Let's make this work, okay? Maybe it was worth $2,000. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know, but it really doesn't represent your typical $2,000 motorcycle that you would get if you were trying to go travel. Like, I'm trying to travel on this thing because it's absolutely ridiculous. Whereas I've been kind of looking at used Gold Wings and used, like, basically old 80s touring bikes, like Gold Wings from the 80s, Yamaha Ventures, Kawasaki Voyagers, like stuff kind of in that vein, because they sell for really cheap. The guys who own them usually take really good care of them, and it's really just an awesome choice for somebody who doesn't want to spend a lot of money, or doesn't have a lot of money, but wants to tour America on a motorcycle. I'm going to do touring on the FXR too. I just don't feel like it's not the best representation of what you could actually do with a couple $1,000. Hey, I guess this is all part of like trying to buy an under $2,000 bike is the Craigslist experience too. So sometimes beware if you're watching this series, this isn't really a series, but if you're watching this and you're interested in the whole idea of buying a cheap bike and traveling across America, some of that is going to involve shady business deals on Craigslist, because when you show up to a Craigslist deal, sometimes things get weird. Well, maybe it wasn't meant to be. I'm going to keep on trying, though. I think I'm going to be able to find a decent Goldwing or Kawasaki Voyager or something like that and really make a cool video series. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm still going to do it on the FXR too, because I know a lot of people want to see that. That is going to happen, but again, like I said, this is these are all your t-shirts, by the way, and the FXR bags. Just had to switch out the t-shirts for a camera because we're going to get tattooed. That took entirely too long. Well, whether it's on this bike or if I do find a Goldwing that is suitable, either way, we're going to be doing some touring pretty soon. But in the meantime, since things are opening back up, life's going back to whatever we call normal now. My buddy Marcus, who's been in a bunch of videos, you guys remember him? I'm going to go show him a little bit of support and get a tattoo. People have been so awesome and generous to me, my patrons, keeping this whole thing, this whole channel, this whole crazy experiment running. Huge thanks to you guys. People have been coming into the bar and supporting us there. So I'm going to go support some of my friends too and go up and see Marcus newly back at work. And I'm still looking for a Goldwing. Maybe something will come up. Who knows? Maybe the next video after this one will be I got my Goldwing Craigslist special. All right, up here at Fox and Spider, which is right next to the social house. So after my tattoo, I'll be able to get a beer. But me and Marcus have actually talked a little bit about, you guys know I kind of did Social House Bike Night for a while. We were talking about kind of linking up with that and doing tattoo specials too. So not only would you come to the bike night, but Marcus would be doing like a tattoo specials, which is kind of cool because Marcus is, I mean, he's one of those guys that really gets booked out. I mean, it's kind of hard to get a tattoo by him, but luckily he's a good friend of mine. What's up, bud? All right, here in the Fox and Spider, and yes, I'm wearing a mask because once you get into a place like this where it's a tattoo studio, you are doing stuff like breaking the skin. Funny enough, you might think that like this would be a dangerous place since there's like quasi-medical stuff going on, but believe it or not, a tattoo studio is probably the absolutely cleanest place that you can go during something like this. Well, at least Marcus's tattoo studio, the Fox and the Spider. Not all tattoo studios are created equal. I will tell you, this is a place that you could eat off the floor. I'm not gonna eat off the floor, but if you wanted to, you could. So this is a Mommin style Odin? Sorry,
stylized in the Mommin style. So you got your little ravens on either side, hung in munden, mind in memory.
Well, just want to do a quick little editor's note here because I realized that I didn't talk in the video about why I got an Odin tattoo, and I know that you guys aren't going to be satisfied with just because. The Odin tattoo I got, the depiction of the Allfather with just one eye, is in reference to Odin plucking out his own eye to drop in the Mimir pool as a sacrifice in order to gain knowledge. So what does that mean to me? Am I some sort of knowledge seeker or something? No, that's not why I got it. But to me, when I look at Odin plucking out his eye and seeing him make that sacrifice, pulling out his own eye because what he values more than anything is the pursuit of knowledge, to me that means in order to achieve great things, in order to get the things you want, you have to make great sacrifices. And the greater the things you want, the larger the things that you want, the larger your sacrifice is going to have to be. So that's why I got an Odin tattoo, if you were wondering.
Well, that's the finished product, although you're probably not going to be able to see it very well underneath the new skin, or, sorry, whatever, I don't think it's new skin, this stuff that Marcus uses on tattoos. I'm officially a pagan now, I guess. That's my Odin tattoo from Marcus, who's a big practitioner of Norse religion, so I really dig it, and I think it's awesome. It's Odin and his 2 ravens there. And no, I didn't get it because I wear Odin gloves. One of the reasons I think Odin gloves are cool is I think they have a cool name. But no, that's not why I got an Odin tattoo. So huge thanks to Marcus for fitting me back in and getting me tattooed on his first day back. If you're a fan of this kind of art style, like this Mammon style Norse art, Marcus is actually going to have these designs and a bunch of other really cool stuff. He's just an amazing artist overall, not just when it comes to Norse designs and stuff, but he's going to have that all available on his website. You know, shirts, pins, stickers, all that kind of stuff on foxandspider.com. I'll have a link down below, and feels pretty good, man. First day tattoo shops are back open. I got myself a tattoo from Marcus, an amazing artist and an amazing friend. Gives me hope for what's coming. I hope things are going to get better. I got my fingers crossed, and here's the hoping that you guys are staying safe and you guys are getting back to work and staying healthy, and everyone can kind of just get back to their lives. And I certainly am looking forward to getting back to mine and getting some of these plans done that I want to do, like all the traveling I've got planned to get out there into the U.S. and see some of you guys hang out and party in your city. I mean, of course, the city's got to open up, so that's what I'm hoping for. Can't really have a good time partying in a city near you unless things are actually open for me to go party at. Anyway, make sure you leave a like on this video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, y'all, keep it weird.